All right.
So like
So yeah,
anybody
questions
come
are
on and
start.
ask,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Let's see. We got one question. And this one has to do with sales cycles. So
Okay.
how do you cultivate relationships uh, when your sales cycle is a long cycle, when it's maybe years before
Been
you
there,
have
done
sales?
that, taken the test. You have to have patience out the yin yang. What I mean is you have to understand the sales cycle is going to take a while. Your boss needs to understand that, and the company obviously, because you need support. It's not going to happen overnight, and you cultivate it. And it took one time 7 years for me to sell something specifically to a physician. 7 years. Now, that's not a long sales cycle. It's just that that person didn't want anything at that point. Now, you're talking sometimes capital equipment or things that may take a while to sell. You just have to keep the foot on the pedal. You have to be patient. You have to be persevering. You have to be honest with the customers and both sides, and just keep working it. Be very multitasking so you don't forget about it. And it is what it is. I mean, if I knew I was selling capital equipment, it may take me 12 months. Then obviously, if I got to put food on the table, I hope I can sell other things. But I'm just saying, you got to kind of follow that patience step by step when you got a longer sales cycle. As long as everybody else is on the same page and is in the same game.
Okay, so we got a question about uh, what if a client goes silent on you? You try to build a relationship and then
Huh.
nothing.
I've been there, done that, and I knock myself, and I never give up, and I never close the door, and I never close the door. But yes, I'd say in my 35 years, I've had it's on my one hand, probably 4 or 5 people out of how many that I just never could build that relationship, or that I couldn't get to, as I call it, because I never closed the door on anybody. And I still haven't closed the door on those 3 or 4 people, after 35 years. And I always thought that if I could, get in front of you at some point, or if I could get back in front of you at some point, I could make a difference. So I don't know. You have to almost come to a point sometimes that at some point, maybe it isn't going to be a customer, or just no matter how hard you try. But on the other flip side, if someone goes silent, it's just then back off a little bit and just say, okay, you mind if we could do this at another time, let's say, or can we reschedule, or was there something that I missed here, or excuse me, but it just seems like we are, there's something. I mean, you can actually come out and ask and be honest. Hey, is there something I did? Maybe I didn't do it the way you thought. But so because the best thing, honestly, is still the best policy, even with people, and even if you think that they're not someone's going silent on you, a lot of times they may have their mind on something else, and something else may have come up. Maybe a new thought just come to their head, and they're thinking about something at home. You just want to be empathetic and say, hey, is there something I did wrong? There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Tell someone that you're sorry if I did in some way offend you or something.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I
So,
always say I'm sorry at 35 years later.
so we got a question about what if you kind of have this conflict between, maybe it's not a conflict. I'll just read the question. How do you combine what is best for the customer versus profit for the company?
Huh, that's a great question. I like to know who I know to know who that is. That's a phenomenal question. How do you balance it? I know you got the customer and you got profit, and you got to worry. Obviously, you are profitable. I guess I'll throw this out there. I've worked for a privately owned company, and I don't know what companies there's publicly traded. They look at the share dollar every month, every quarter. There's privately owned companies, there's small businesses. I don't know. I guess I'm going to tell you what I would do from my heart. If you treat the customer the right way and you take care of your customer, the profit will come. I really believe that. I know you may get hit on something, but if you do the right thing and you worry more about the customers, and how you treat the customers and what you can do for the customers and solve their problems, I believe it will come hand in hand. You know, if I build it, they'll come. Well, I really believe in that. If it's one by one customer, because it's all about people. How do you think you stay profitable in any business? It's about people. It's about customers. You know, if you don't have something good to sell, they're not going to buy something. Plus, people buy from who they like. And I just believe that I know we have to be profitable. I know that. But I believe you can be profitable and still do the right thing and still build customer loyalty and take care of the customer, and the profit will come.
So we have a question about, well, this is an interesting one. So this person is trying to motivate their salespeople. They've tried like competitions, bonuses for the store, but they seem to be frustrated with the results that they've had with trying to motivate their salespeople. Do you have any advice on how to motivate your salespeople?
Stop those things. It's not about money. It's more about pat on the back. It's more about, hey, I really appreciate you. It's more about, hey, are you doing okay? It's more about, I really like your work. It's more about getting to know them, build that relationship. It's not about the bonuses. And I know I know I've been there, done that. And I'm a person that it bothered me all my years because all I wanted was you to tell me I'm doing a good job. But a lot of bosses don't tell their employees that they're doing a good job. A lot of colleagues, I mean, it means a hell of a lot more to me to tell me that you think I did something right or that I accomplished it or that I made a difference than anything else. So I think we got to get back to that. We don't communicate very well in businesses. And my first thing is I would tell someone to go talk to that person and figure out, well, how do you want me to communicate with you? What's your expectations? What do you need from me? What does motivate you? I'd want to find out every single employee, what makes you tick? And most people will probably tell you most of the time, it's not about the money. It's the self-worth. It's my value. Do you care what I do? Do you not micromanage me? Do you, allow me to empower me? Those are kind of things that I try to drive more on. I don't like the word motivation because if you're really good, you really don't need to be motivated, but in a sense of the word. But do you want to be recognized, by your peers and those kind of things? And do you want to feel good at what you do? I want to feel good that I added value, that I did something that was important, that was those kind of things. Sorry, I'm passionate about that.
No, that's great.